Now, you dated back to 20 years ago, 1999 or thereabout.
Yeah.
Now, when this happened about that time, what was the reason? What were you able to find out as the reason why people go into this criminality in the first place?
As it were then, I remembered even when it happened then, they called them bandits. And the first commander then, General Temlong retired, said, no, these are not bandits, these are enemies of the land. People using weapons against us, people killing people, slaughtering people, and then it was not defined as it is now because people sometimes, they were nonchalant about it. They were even collecting levies. So the reason then, what is the reason for banditry as it is now? If you now take banditry as a definition, it is the same thing. So that was what they were looked at, bandits and criminals who are not ready to do anything reasonable. That was the reason, and then we were to take them out, and then the whole thing started then as it were. So there was no, as it were, then it was not defined that it was an ideology. They didn't come up with any ideology as it were, then it was criminality, and it was handled as criminality.
Now, talking about this case, I mean, a lot of Nigerians are still trying to wrap their heads around how over 40 farmers were slaughtered just like that. And, I mean, the person you were referring to, one of the survivors, was saying that, well, they had been in some form of contact with these terrorists. In fact, they will tell them to help them carry loads, and they will do that. So apparently, these terrorists were amongst them way before now. So how is that even possible that we didn't get word of the presence of those terrorists before this attack happened?
Okay, now, you see, I'm happy that you have identified this because that has been our worry. It's a concern to us. For instance, just like they were among them, like he said, we believe strongly, but you need to be led, you need a guide, you need information. Would they tell us? That's a question that we have to ask. Yes, sometimes and most times no. And that was one of the issues that we have been trying to ensure that we overcome with civil-military cooperation activities, reaching out to them, even sending people, by proxy to talk to them. Those are the things that, has been one of the bane of the success, final success in this, in the whole of this operation. Now look at another situation. Our patrols will pass through a route in a village. By the time you are going, some people are looking at you. When you are coming back, the next thing is that you enter, you meet an IED planted on the road. And people saw them, they won't tell you. So that is the area that I think we are all working together, like I said, the stakeholders. So you are very right in that. And it's not possible to force information out of people. It's not possible at all. Just like they will say you force the horse to the river but not to drink water. So all we are doing is to ensure that we bring up their confidence in the system and then encourage them that, look, this is not good for you. Now, they did not expect that this will happen. Even those ones that they deceive that they are preaching to them. And that has been one of the things. So, but gradually, we believe from the moves made by all stakeholders that we are going to overcome that. And then finally, it will just become normal criminality that can be handled easily.
So you're saying prior to this time, the villagers had been sort of conniving with the terrorists, even giving them information about Nigerian military's movement. Is that what has been happening prior to this time?
I didn't say that, and I'm not saying that. The villagers won't do that. In every society, we have as it is now, we have a divided, I will call it, in a population. You have criminals here. That one is normal and natural. If you now generalize it and say the whole villagers, that means it's not a true assertion, it's not a true situation on the ground. There are a few people there, people who work for them, just like in the Northwest, blaming the great elite. You have informants who tell them, give them movements about, give them information about the movements of security agencies. The moment you pass and go, then I come and rustle cow and then go away. So that is it. That is the same thing everywhere. That you have criminals, informants. They have their own informants. And those are the people I'm talking about, not the whole village.